The sun spilled through the glass doors of the downtown bank as James Carter rolled inside. He'd done this 100 times before: deposit a check, nod politely at the teller, go on with his day. But today, something felt different. Maybe it was the way the security guard's eyes lingered a little too long on his wheelchair. Maybe it was the way the teller, a woman with a polished smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, glanced at his ID like it was a forged passport. James Carter wasn't rich, but he worked hard. His paycheck was honest money. Still, as he slid it across the counter, he could feel her suspicion crackling in the air like static. "Can I see another form of ID?" she asked, her tone flat. "Sure," James said, fishing out a second card from his wallet. He was used to double checks, but then her eyes narrowed. "This check, it seems unusual. I'll need to verify it." Before James could respond, she disappeared into the back. Minutes ticked by. Customers in line shifted impatiently. James adjusted his chair, feeling that creeping sense, the one every black man in America knows too well. The sense that this wasn't about a check. This was about him. When the teller returned, she wasn't alone. 2 uniformed police officers followed behind her. "Sir, we've had a report of possible fraud." James blinked. "Fraud? This is my paycheck." The officer didn't seem convinced. "We'll need to ask you a few questions outside." "I'm not going anywhere," James said evenly. "Call my employer. The number's on the check." The lobby grew tense. Customers stopped pretending not to listen. Someone pulled out a phone, recording. The officers exchanged a glance. "Sir, if you don't cooperate, we'll have to remove you." "Remove me?" James gestured at his chair. "Good luck with that." But they tried anyway. One officer grabbed his arm, the other tugged at the handles of his wheelchair. James's voice rose, steady but sharp. "This is harassment. I'm not leaving." The video would later show it all: the confusion, the fear, the disbelief in his eyes as strangers looked on, some shouting, some silent. The officers finally stepped back, muttering into their radios. One of them looked at James, then at the crowd of people with phones raised high, and seemed to realize how bad this all looked. The bank manager hurried over, her face pale. "Mr. Carter, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" James's voice was calm, almost too calm, the kind of calm that comes after a storm. "You called the police on me for cashing my own paycheck." She started to speak, but James didn't let her finish. "You didn't even check the documents I gave you. You just saw me, in this chair, and assumed I was doing something wrong." The teller looked down, suddenly fascinated by the floor tiles. By now, the crowd in the lobby had doubled. Someone whispered, "This is going on Twitter." Within hours, it did. A 30-second clip of James being shoved in his wheelchair by officers spread online like wildfire. The hashtag #BankingWhileBlack trended nationwide. Reporters called, civil rights groups reached out, and the bank issued a carefully worded apology. "We value all our customers equally and regret this unfortunate incident." But James knew an apology wouldn't erase what happened. The fear in his chest when the officer grabbed his arm, the humiliation of being treated like a criminal, that wasn't something a press release could fix. And yet, something unexpected happened. Strangers sent messages of support. An lawyer offered to take his case pro bono. Community leaders rallied, demanding better training for bank staff and police alike. James didn't just fight for himself. He fought to make sure no one else would be treated that way. A few weeks later, sitting in that same wheelchair, he spoke at a press conference. "I didn't ask to become a headline. I just wanted to deposit my paycheck. But if my story can wake people up, if it makes one bank click, one officer, one person stop and think before judging someone by how they look, then maybe it's worth it." And for the first time since that terrible day, James smiled.